Alright, good evening everybody. It's your boy Akeem. Welcome to today's blogs. Here to continue with more scout reports for the 2016 NFL Draft. And today I'm going to be moving forward to the running backs. And I'm going to start off with Ezekiel Elliott coming out of the Ohio State University. Now this Buckeye running back was the workhorse and the key component on the offensive unit for the Buckeyes. And he was a star. Now for the last two seasons he rushed for over 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns rushing in 2014 and 23 rushing on touchdowns in 2015 this past season, and he decided to come out and play to enter this year's draft, and he is my #1 running back entering this year's draft. Now let's talk about his strengths and weaknesses. First, his strengths. He definitely can work running the football well in between the tackles. He has a great burst and a great first step to running with the football. It's very phenomenal. He does run a 4.45 40 clocking as of today. He definitely has a great size at 6 foot, 225 pounds, and this kid is a bruiser. A great burst just to elevate himself past the line of scrimmage and passing the linebackers to affect to do some damages even in the secondary. Definitely has a great speed burst, good quickness, and a great vision in reading his blocks. Very patient runner, believes in his offensive line, and with the right team, with a good offensive line, he will be extremely effective in the National Football League. Now, he can be a little bit of a receiver outside the backfield. He did have over 200 yards receiving over the course of the last two seasons, over 2,000 yards of total offense for the Buckeyes on the offensive side. Now, he does have some weaknesses, though, very few, and this is why he's my #1 guy. Now, first, his blocking needs to do a better job as a blocker just to show that he is more of a team player. And I did mention that he had just over 200 yards over the last two seasons as a receiver. I kind of wish that he was used a little bit more in the receiving core, but due to the fact that he did rush for over 1,800 yards per season in the last 2 years, that pretty much says it all. He didn't really have to catch the ball outside the backfield, but he has shown his skills in catching the ball outside the backfield with 28 receptions in 2014 and 27 receptions in 2015. He does capable of doing that. Lastly, we understand that he might have a little bit of an immature question marks about his maturity. He had an immature moment, especially after that game in November against Michigan State, in which he kind of criticized the coach's decision and play calling in that matchup. Now, he was pretty much he had a too honest moment at that moment, and he was basically just showing his passion for the game. He was tearing up. He did apologize. It was just an immature moment. That was the only concern. Now, he hasn't had any other issues outside the field or even in the field, so I think that one particular moment definitely event that should definitely cross past everybody's minds, because this is a spectacular athlete. He's very passionate. Yes, he did go too far, but he did apologize for that. He just he was just being honest, too honest, and he just should have controlled himself a little bit better. But I think when he gets to the next level, the coaches and the quarterback, who is the captains of the team, definitely will keep him in check and keep him in line. But he is still a great player, and pretty much, like I said, in that moment, he was just being too honest. But I think that's just going to way past everybody. It did way past me. At first, I did say it was very immature, but then I honestly forgot about the situation because of how great of a running back he is. Now, my projection for him for this season, I actually have him as he's the only running back who I have going in the first round of this year's draft. This is a sure lock. I do believe Derrick Henry has some arguments, but I'm going to have to go with Ezekiel Elliott because he's better for a bruiser, and he does run better downhill, in my opinion, than Henry. But I will give you a blog on him in just a couple of seconds, so I'm going to catch you guys just then. Thank you for watching this blog. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.